Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, March 29th, 2021, and this is another episode of Motivational Mornings with Jay. And I am Jay, of course. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Excuse me being masked up. I'm out and about doing some errands and doing some work, so this is what you guys get. One thing I can tell you is that these motivational morning posts it's not something that's supposed to be cute. It's not supposed to be, fashion forward or whatever. It's me coming to you guys, encouraging you guys, and encouraging myself. So I might not look the greatest. You might see me when I'm having a bad day. You might the lighting might be off. Like right now I'm outside in front of somebody's home. There may be times where you see me that I'm not kept. So please charge it to the situation and not my heart. I would love to be kept for you guys, but life happens and we're not always made up. So anywho, with that being said, I want to talk to you guys about something serious. This morning, I want to make sure I didn't have a booger because it looked like I did. I'm sorry, but anyway, let's just talk to you guys about forgiving your parents. Yeah, if you are 30 and up, I'm even gonna say 25 and up. If you're 25 and up, then you were raised by the baby boomer generation. And unfortunately, the baby boomer generation went through some stuff. That means that your parents are in their 50s, 60s, maybe even, I want to say late 40s. I don't want to say late 40s. But if your parent was a baby boomer in the baby boomer generation, then you endured some stuff. And that's because they endured some stuff. The way our parents taught us was very unorthodox, and that's because, unfortunately, some of them had to go through some unorthodox situations. When they were growing up, the time and the era was different. The 70s, the 80s, the 60s. My mom, God rest her soul, I miss you so much, Mommy. She was born in 1956. There was still segregation in the South where she was. So our parents went through a lot. Some of their parents went through a lot. Unfortunately, some of their parents weren't educated. Some of their parents had to work, domestic jobs to make ends meet. Some of us have grandparents who unfortunately were on drugs or alcohol and they were abusive. And unfortunately, that stuff was rendered down to our parents, and that's what our parents saw. And what they saw is what they utilized when they were raising us. See, the thing about raising a child and the thing about different generations is life is the same for everyone. We all go through the same thing in some way, shape, or form, but in a different way. And so, they've gone through the whole music being raunchy. They've gone through the fashions. They've gone through the he said, she said, the drama, the drugs, the alcohol, everything that we've gone through, our parents have gone through, but their generation was just a tad bit different. And the way that they were raised was a tad bit different. Some of them weren't raised the best. Like I said, they dealt with abuse. But everything that a parent learns is how a parent parents. And unfortunately, if your parent was not parented, they did not know how to be a parent, so they were winging it and trying to do the best that they could. Some of our parents lost their parents at a very young age. If you were fortunate enough to have all your grandparents, then thank God. If you are fortunate to have both your parents, then thank God. If you are fortunate to right now have a living parent, thank God. Life happens. And because life happened to our parents, they endured what they had to go through, and that's how they learned how to parent us. I'm not saying that our parents did the best jobs, but I'm not saying that they did the worst. What I'm saying is that they did what they could, and they did what they knew how. Unfortunately, some of them didn't know how because they weren't raised adequately enough. And the ones that weren't raised adequately had the drive and desire to raise their children better than they were raised. I can guarantee you that every parent that, or every person that was raised in a hard way or went through hardships in their youth, their first thought is, if I ever have kids, I don't want them to go through the things that I went through. So with your parents trying to avoid you going through the same things that they went through, they try to do things differently, and unfortunately sometimes the differently wasn't good. So guys, we have to learn to forgive our parents because they were learning to parent. There's no book to parenting, there's no guide to it. You do what you know, you do what you were taught, and you try to give it your best in some cases. I had to learn that my mom went through a lot of abuse as a child. Even in her adult years, she went through abuse. People misused her and mistreated her. But as a child, she went through a lot of abuse. My mom's mother passed when she was a little girl. And her brother and her sister, they were young children. And so, in situations like that, you get passed along to your family, or your family steps up and volunteers to take care of you. But in very rare cases, does everyone get to stay together, or does everyone endure the same things? And my mom went through a lot. She went through a lot, and so she didn't really know how to parent when she had me, because she didn't really have that mother figure. I thank God that she was able to do all that she did for me, and that the women in my life that God sent were also able to be a help to my mom in raising me. And then that I had the desire to want to be a good person and also help people be good, and also help my mom to get better, because I knew that my mom was in pain and she had been through a lot of stuff. So I had to learn that and understand and comprehend that the way my mom was, and the reason why she was the way she was because of the things that she had gone through. And I couldn't blame her for it. I couldn't hold on to that. I couldn't be upset or be mad at her, because she was doing what she knew. She was doing what she knew, guys. When your parents make mistakes, or if they've made mistakes in the past, forgive them. They're doing the best they can. You as a parent will make mistakes. You will never be a perfect parent. It's no handbook to parenting. However, you can try, and you can try to do the best that you can. Before my mom passed, I was able to have this conversation with her, and talk to her about how I felt about her not being parented, and about how I had to forgive her, because my mom and I went through a lot of stuff in my teenage years and my young adult years. My mom and I went through a lot, and I didn't have a better relationship with my mom until I forgave her, because she didn't know. So if you have a parent and you have a relationship with them and it's not the best, I challenge you on today to look at that relationship, and to also look at your parents, see what they've been through. Try to be compassionate with them. Try to empathize with them. Look at their childhood. Look at what they've learned, and then look at their parents' childhood and what they learned and what they went through. There's a reason for why our parents have done the things they've done. There's a reason for the things we've gone through. We've got to, and I know it's cliche, but we've got to break those generational curses and understand the problems, understand the issues, and get to the root of things and make things better. Fussing, arguing, Not talking, being at discord is not going to help. It's just going to make you resent your parent more. Talk to them about it. The statement, hurt people, is very true. If a person is hurting, they input that hurt onto you because they don't know what else to do with it. They're trying to kind of explain to you that they're hurt in their own way, but they don't know how to be that vulnerable. So how they lash out and how they render their help me cry is by hurting others. You guys, let's stop that. Let's stop that. It's such a stigma and it's such a trend. Let's stop it. Let's help one another. Let's really help one another. And like I said, guys, forgive your parents. They're not perfect. None of us are. So forgive them. If no one has told you on today that they love you, please know that I love you. I mean it. And I hope today is an awesome day for you today on purpose. Peace.